Daylight, my MVVs, welcome. Is this tradition or betrayal? Is the question that a lot of people are asking. The reason why people are asking this question is because there were some of these elders that were putting their head for Ebony as if Jesus Christ. If it is not Ebony, it's no other person. It has to be Ebony, Ebony this, Ebony that. And to turn around and find out that the same people, like all of a sudden are the ones who are acting as if it doesn't really matter as long as, new Oloris can come into the palace. It's heartbreaking. And as in, not for me, but at least I know for people like the Ebony and the Oloris who are there in the palace. Because most of these Oloris have been kind to these men. They keep helping them. They keep giving them money here and there and all of that. How do you just turn your back in split seconds? You're bringing your niece, your nieces, your sisters, your what do you call your daughters? How? I told you people about this royal bread, right? Yes, so you see, this royal bread is a very serious thing. People want to chop royal bread, as in everybody wants to be a part of that royal bread. This is what is going on. So the question right now, is it really tradition or is just this thing with the heart of man? Me, it's not as if I am unhappy. After all, they said that whatever you sow is what you reap. What you give to others is what you get. And I feel like this is a time where people need to begin to learn that, things are not always the way that they seem. Okay, sometimes you might just be as if you're on top of the wall, but something will bring you down to humble you because, yes, so God is more powerful. They say the great palace of the Ooni of Ife has been thrown into fresh turmoil underneath the stately marble corridors, ancient chant and regal procession. A storm has been brewing quietly, one that threatens to, rewrite the lines of loyalty, love, and power in Ile-Ife's royal household. It's all started with an unassuming closed-door section, the Council of Elders, the revered custodian of, tradition, summoned the Ooni for what was supposed to be a routine meeting, but it quickly veered into more delicate terrain. They reminded the Ooni gently at first, then with a firmness that broke no disagreement about an old age expectation. The Ooni must be surrounded by 6 wives known as the Sacred Six at all times. This, they insisted, was not mere pomp. It was the way to keep the kingdom balanced, to fulfill spiritual covenant tied to the throne, to safeguard Ile-Ife from mysterious forces that outsiders might scoff at, but the elders know are very real, okay? They only caught between his modern ideals and his cultural obligation, sat there silently. His heart was troubled. His recent years had been anything but smooth, especially with matters of the heart, Queen Naomi. Of course, we do know how much he loved that woman. He's very affectionate about Olori Naomi. But, the difference right now is that Naomi is no longer that girl that she used to be, okay? Those days where every small thing she said, I want to go every small thing. Right now, Naomi has a lot of understanding. I think all of these things that happened had to have happened for her to understand where she is, knowing that, look, I got married to a king, an African king, who is entitled to as many wives as possible. If you frown at it, everybody will frown at you because they will feel like you do not have an understanding as to, what is doing you where you are, right? Now, everybody expects Olori Naomi to understand. And right now, Naomi is understanding in a way that people are scared. Like, you're understanding too much. They said the council was unmoved. They said they told the Ooni of Ife when he said not right now and he's trying to smoothen things out with his wife, Olori Naomi. They said the council was unmoved. Some of the women currently bearing the title of Olori had brought the palace into disrepute. Rumors, petified external influences. They felt the sacred circle was fractured. If the Ooni did not act, they want spiritual issues will come, okay? and they don't want that. And since it is a good thing that he is standing his ground, that he's going to take away immunity, if he is going to take away immunity, they will need immediate replacement. As a matter of fact, it is even, they needed this replacement like yesterday, that before the announcement was made that immunity will be removed on the 28th, that the replacement was even supposed to be there. And so right now, they are even late on the issue of replacement. Now that Ooni needs to begin to make arrangements for new Oloris that will replace, because the thing is that traditionally, for you to know that, look, Kabiyesi is married to you, is the immunity, okay? Immunity for nobody to come close to you. Immunity. And let me tell you why this removing immunity is so bad. Now, I do know that you guys have heard a lot of things from other channels. You know, remember that time where they were speculating about children, these children that they are bringing into the palace, blah, blah, blah. If you remember, I never ventured into those things because I am not doubting other channels, but you cannot throw caution to the wind like that when you know that even a small chief inside one Okoroba, you cannot cross their wife, not to talk of the Ooni of Ife's wife. So whatever others are reporting, that's fine. It's okay. That's their own, okay? But let me tell you what immunity does. When you get married to the Ooni of Ife, you enter a sacred covenant with the Ooni of Ife that nothing can ever take away. That encompasses everything, including any man coming close to you. That man, he won't buy. He won't buy. So right now, that immunity they are removing, what it means is that you are on your own. Anybody feel maybe go there, come out, nothing good. In fact, you are on your own right now. So when they remove the immunity, basically, it's almost like Oba no marry you again. Oba no marry you again. You there on your own. On your own, that is exactly where you are. So you see how bad it is. So these people are saying that now you are taking away 3 wives. So taking away 3 wives, what that means is that you will have just a literary 3. Because for now, up until today, they have not started referring to our beautiful, gorgeous Naomi as Kabiyesi's wife, even though, of course, they do know that everything has been fixed, okay? After the Oferende ritual, you know, they will begin to call her wife to Oba again. So literally, they do know that the women are 4 right now, but they are supposed to be 6. Like after the immunity removal, if they succeed in removing immunity from 3 of them, there will be remaining only 4 for the Ooni of Ife. And it's not complete, it's not 6. Now, they say these 6 wives represent certain things, which I will bring to you in another video, not this very video. So the 6 wives represent longevity, represent this, represent that, and that their sacred scroll is there in that their documents, okay, that their traditional documents. So they represent different things. So if these women are not 6, at least, they are not saying there must be only 6. They can be up to 45, no problem, but they cannot be less than 6. That is what these people are saying right now. They cannot be less than 6. So if you are saying, if you are serious, you're going to remove immunity, you're going to make them cease. When the whisper of this new mandate reached her ears, that is Ebony, and you know, not just Ebony, even other wives, it hit Ebony harder than she ever imagined. In a rare moment of raw honesty, Ebony broke down to a close confidant. Tears, you know, came out of her eye. I see it now. I was just a pawn. She wept, her voice trembling. They used me when it served their purpose. You know, paraded me when it made the palace look grand. But when old men gather to discuss the future of the throne, my feelings don't count. My sacrifices don't count. Not even my dignity counts. They say she cried. It was more than heartbreak. It was the shock of realizing that even love, or what she thought was love, might be overshadowed by obligation far older than anyone living today. Elsewhere, some of the other Oloris reacted differently. One withdrew into quiet prayer and long nights spent in her chamber seeking divine intervention. Another became fiercely defensive, telling anyone who would listen that no elder could push her out because she had ancestral right herself. Meanwhile, the palace staff carried on with their duties, careful not to gossip too loudly. It is not a small thing. Deoni himself was left in the hardest position of all. In private, he, struggled to balance a deep sense of duty with genuine affection for these women. Each had shared, his table, his sacred, and in many ways, his burdens. The thought of sending any of them away, even under the guise of tradition, weighed on him like a stone. But tradition, as is being reminded over and over, was bigger than any single heart. And so, for those of us who think that maybe Kabiyesi is enjoying the fact that he will remove immunity, I don't think he is enjoying it to see, no matter what happens, okay, these women have been there. Some of them have been there for him, but, tradition is very, very important to these people. This is what is going on in the palace. They said Ebony cried as this Obaze came. So right now, people are asking, is this really tradition, or they are just doing what serves their own purpose? And that is why anybody who is in that palace needs to be very careful, because one day when it's happening to this person, you think, is that person, is their thing, it's not a thing. The day that it will come for you, you will not even know where to hide your face. I'm going to bring him up there. Do not forget that these are all alleged rumors, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.